Supplies to support the program. Sean Malone at KMOX News.
Overnight, partly cloudy, 35. Tomorrow, we could see some showers, 69 degrees, but then another cool down. Clouds tomorrow night, spot shower in the evening, gusty winds, though, 35 for the low, and for Saturday, sunny and cool, gusty winds with afternoon highs, 52. Right now, 45 in St. Peter's, 50 in Florissant, and downtown of the Arch, it's 50. I'm Maria Kina, KMOX News.
Y98 presents the St. Louis City Soccer Report on America's Sports Voice, KMOX.
Welcome into the downtown St. Louis studios of KMOX for the St. Louis City Soccer Report. I think it's our second Thursday that we are having the show, which is going to be pretty much a staple for the rest of the year, which I actually really like more than Sundays, because after games, I'm tired on Sundays and it's hard to get a guest book. So 8 to 10 p.m. on Thursdays following Sports Open Line. This week, however, you just heard Jennifer Siess because I'm alone at the moment. No Nate Gatter, because Matt Pajeski, you're in studio with me. Where is our Nate Gatter? He's been busy.
You know, Nate, he's all over the place. He's been on the call for Westwood One, doing some first four NCAA tournament. We've got a little audio here I want to play for you of our good friend Nate calling the Grambling State lead as they played Montana State.
Back cut, Cofer gets the feed, right hand reverse is good. It's Cofer's second half. He has all 10 points in 11 minutes since the break, and he gives the Tigers a 60-59 lead with 5:39 to go at the first four. Timeout, Montana State, and the black and gold from the Grambling bench spills onto the floor in Dayton.
Whoa, that's not soccer. What is he doing?
I don't know.
So I hear a lot of squeaking. That's the I remember that. I used to play some basketball, and there's always the ongoing squeaking. So well done to our Nate Gatter. He'll be out for the next 3 weeks, but don't be concerned. You're not alone with me. At about 8:30, Daniel Esteve from Fox 2 Now Sports will be joining me to take the entire show home. And we do have a packed show tonight. In this first hour, I'm going to give you some highlights and audio from Coach Carnell and some of the players. 8:15, as normal, Dale Schilly will join us, St. Louis City Academy Director and game analyst on our sister station Y98, with myself and Joey Zanaboni. At 8:30, we'll probably listen to the interview with Samuel Adeniran, City attacker. He's got some thoughts on last game and the upcoming game with DC United. 8:45, George Gansner joins us, the former FIFA and MLS referee, to talk laws of the game. And then in the next hour, Charles Boehm, Taikio, will also talk with us about various things from U.S. men's national team to Leagues Cup, Opens Cup to National Women's Soccer League as well. So let's go ahead and get started. City back at City Park on Saturday for another cross-conference game, this time with DC United, 7 p.m. pregame show on Y98, 7:30 kickoff. Injury update for everybody. Coach Carnell kind of gave an update today. We've got Edward Leuven and Tim Parker, who will likely be out, most probably actually be out. Leuven nursing the hamstring, although he has been out jogging, so that is a good sign. Tim Parker managing his back, but he's not ready, at least at this moment. Jabula Blom, though, good news. He has been in training. He is an option for the roster, so it's good to see him back. Earlier this week, usually it's on a Tuesday, we get out there for practice on the training field. Coach Carnell gave us some feelings along with Rowan Berkey after practice and talked a little bit about the LA Galaxy game, a game where he's got some mixed feelings, but overall, he's proud of the team coming back.
Mixed feelings, obviously. I mean, we go up in a hostile environment, take my head off to the team. I'm not sure if you can mark my words now, but, a team goes down in the first 2 minutes in that environment. Just to think how many teams might come back and how many teams might fold. So really proud of the boys there for that performance.
Coach likes to talk about the game being a game of moments. All games are a game of moments sometimes that you capitalize on, moments where occasionally you leave the door open. But he does reiterate that he's proud of City's roster depth, and he is absolutely not afraid to use it. When asked a little bit about how he utilizes Samuel Adeniran and Joao Klaus, he says it's definitely a game of management.
That's the weapon you have in your pocket, right? So the question is, do you start them both? Do you bring one at a time? And the art is to try and get them to understand it. and that's that's dealing with the well-being of the roster, the team, and that's my job. And sometimes that's the toughest job to do, to get guys on board, to believe that I'm going to be more powerful or stronger and beneficial to the team coming off from the bench. Because we've shown we believe in 17, 18, 19, 22, 25 players on our roster. Some rosters don't make the match day weekend. If you have a look, they don't have their contingent of 9 players on the bench. We're just very lucky, grateful, proud that we've able to manage that, and players, as much as it hurts, they understand the roles, what's needed to be done.
And he's exactly right. If you've played or if you've coached, even at the youth levels, especially when they get to a point where it's not split time for everybody, everybody struggles with not being a starter if that's something you were, or always wanting to be a starter. And sometimes some players on any given moment are better coming off the bench as either subs, super subs, you could call them, or game finishers, as the Portland Thorns likes to call theirs. And it is a different way to approach that. And we'll hear from Samuel Adeniran on how he approaches that a little bit differently, because it's different to start a game and have your halftime and do your complete warm up, and then you sit for a half, maybe more, and then have to kind of do that warm up all over again, but kind of in a smaller fashion because it's on a sideline or it's at an end line. So it's a little bit of a different thing, but definitely a weapon. And it's something that I think City truly enjoys by having Joao Klaus back from injury and having Sam Adeniran. And I have to imagine that, you know, when you are dealing with one or the other as a back and you see the sub come on and it's the other one, that you've got to be thinking, oh my gosh, I have to deal with this guy, which is exactly a great weapon to have. Another great weapon to have is Roman Bürki. He talked a little bit about how the team, Coach Carnell did, hasn't had to rely on Bürki too much to the LA Galaxy game when he made a great save.
This one with the arm, I don't know how he did it, I'm not sure, because that's at point blank range. And to think about the anticipation, a goalkeeper's processing so many things. He's thinking, where's my teammates? Where is the ball driver? Like, who's on the ball carrier? Where's the runners coming in? And what is the shot projection? And he has to take a gamble, at that moment, and great reflexes. I mean, it's incredible what these guys do.
And that particular save he's talking about, if you remember, is when Roman Bürki, literally at point blank range, you're not kidding, that hits his face, and we're probably talking about a broken nose. Hand goes almost up, almost like maybe a hockey player would do when he swipes at that. And he does a number of great things. Bürki is very happy when he's able to make saves like that. Ever humble, he does mention that he's not really sure how he made Team of the Week with 3 conceded goals, but he's happy to deliver when that is needed.
These are things we are doing in training every day, with Alex, Ben, Christian. When you trust your instincts, trust your reflexes, you can hold your position and go from there. And luckily I was fast enough. And, it's always nice that people are happy when I do something like this, and that makes me happy.
Now, he does go on to say that, that soccer is a game of mistakes. We were talking about that on Tuesdays, that it's a game of mistakes in where you try to make the least, but capitalize on your opponent, of course, when they do. But when he does make a mistake, he admits it and he moves on.
That comes with age, with experience. I conceded a lot of goals in my career. I said it after the game in the interview that I should have saved the second goal. The ball goes right under my hand. I was there. I had that feeling that I should have saved that ball, but still I just continue. Like I said, soccer is a game of mistakes. You just need to keep going and don't let it too much in your head.
So hearing Roman Bürki, you can see him when you watch after clips. He's not shy about showing his emotion. But yeah, like any soccer player, particularly goalkeepers, when we think about it from a mindset approach, they have to be able to flush that or put that away and be able to move on to the next save. Sometimes it may not come for an entire half, and sometimes it comes right away, like he did. And we'll talk a little bit about that with Sam Adeniran as well. When City went down 2-1, it wasn't long after that Roman Bürki had to make a save to keep that game at 2-1, so they had a chance when Sam Adeniran came in. More to come. Dale Schilly, game analyst on Y98, St. Louis City Academy director. On the other side of this break, we'll talk to him about the LA Galaxy game and look forward to the DC United game with him on the St. Louis Soccer Report on KMOX.
After a long winter, your lawn is going to be starving this spring. It's hungry, so it's time to feed it with Scott's 4-Step program, available at Cotton's Ace Hardware. The 4-Step includes weed prevention, and each season, the right amount of food to keep your lawn happy, healthy, and green, and the envy of the neighborhood. You can either get the 5,000 square foot package or the 15,000 square foot package and get a $20 gift card to Cotton's Ace Hardware. Do not neglect your lawn. Get started on the 4-Step today at Cotton's Ace Hardware.
Clutter and junk collect in corners and piles.
In attics and basements.
In closets and sheds.
And in garages.
Boy, does junk gather in garages.
The average garage is a convention center for junk.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
We make junk disappear.
All you have to do is point.
You're going to get a brand new garage.
You're going to get a bunch of new closets.
You're going to get a new shed.
Best of all, you're going to get fresh air freedom.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
Or visit 1-800-GOTJUNK.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
If you've been injured in a car wreck, you need the best. Let us make your case our cause. Car accident? Call Onder Law for a free review at 314 or 618-900,000.
Anywhere Lombardo is proud to present the Parkside Series, our newest series of homes available to build on your lot. These ranch 1.5-story and 2-story homes start from 1,500 square feet to over 2,700 square feet and feature open great rooms, chef-inspired kitchens, and contemporary exterior elevations. Want to tour a new home in person? We invite you to visit the Sunbury, our newest Parkside Series decorated display, located at the streets of Caledonia in O'Fallon. Visit our website at lombardohomes.com to view floor plans and pricing.
Our goal at Neovitin is to make supporting your nutrition as easy as possible. That's why we created the Neovitin monthly subscription. Just go to neovitin.com, choose your multivitamin, sign up, and we will do the rest. You'll receive your Neovitin multivitamin every month with no long-term obligation. You can pause or cancel at any time, and shipping is free. Each Neovitin multivitamin includes our physician-formulated proprietary blend for nutritional support you won't find anywhere else. Start supporting your nutrition the easy way with Neovitin multivitamins. Sign up for a Neovitin subscription today at neovitin.com.
To have a roof over your head, a nice roof over your head, is very important.
That's Rick talking about his experience with Rhino Shield ceramic coating.
We got Rhino Shield 18 years ago, and they were very cooperative on getting us the right paint. They were in and out and done in no time. Once it was finished, looked great. We were very happy with it.
The main reason Rick called Rhino Shield is because it's backed by a 25-year transferable warranty.
We've watched a lot of people get their house painted 3 or 4 times, and we haven't had to do any of it. I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to have to paint it every 5-7 years.
Take a tip from Rick and put down the paintbrush and call Rhino Shield for your free evaluation. 877-25-RHINO. 877-25-RHINO. Or visit 877-25rhino.com.
We got Rhino Shield 18 years ago. Financially makes sense, especially if it's going to last like this did. Still looks great.
Call now. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com.
No paint, don't Rhino. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you. Discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
SNL Coin. We buy gold and silver coins, silver and gold jewelry. Also buying gold-filled and silver plates. Before you sell, call SNL. 314-544-3600. 314-544-3600. SNL Coin.
The Y98 St. Louis City Soccer Report continues on America's Sports Voice, KMOX.
Delgado playing one over the top, skips to the end line from the corner, Paintsill, centric, oh! Roman Berkey! Stones Jovic!
That's it. That was the goal I was talking about in that previous segment. The one where St. Louis City was down 2-1 and could have been easily and quickly down 3-1. Dale Schilly joining me now, Jennifer Siess on the KMOX Soccer Report. Dale, Roman Berkey doesn't make that save. A 3-1 game is a whole lot different.
Well, if Roman Berkey doesn't make 6 of those saves.
True.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that particular one was the glove hand one that got redirected, and he reflexed with his left hand and made a save. And then right after that, he did a kick save where he toe poked the ball. it was unbelievable. Just one of the best performances that we've seen from him. We've seen some amazing performances, and we gave up 3 goals, but still he stood on his head.
Yeah, he actually admitted that. He said, I gave up 3 goals and I don't know how I made a team of the week. Well, of course you did, because of the amazing ways you kept the team in the game, of course.
Yeah, I mean, again, early on, I think we were down a goal in the first half, and they got down the right side. I'm assuming it was Paintsville that smacked the ball across, and Jovelich or Totlin, one of them, redirected the ball on goal. He made a big save then. I mean, it's 2-0 right out of the gate. So yeah, he was spectacular. And look, he just keeps pushing himself as well. It's always seems like he's striving to hit another level. He's super professional about the way he does his business. You see that every day.
I wanted to point out one of my favorite things, as you know, is in pregame, we talk about your 3 questions right towards the end of pregame. For all of our listeners, that's on Y98. We do a 30-minute pregame before. Lots of great things, from hearing from the view from the booth to Coach Carnell to a player interview in Dale's 3 things, which I love. One of the things that you mentioned was who wins the restart game. And sure enough, it came down to some restarts at the very end.
Yeah, I was thinking about that on the way back. We won the restart game 2-1, and without those restarts, and obviously Berkey, we don't get the point. And look, that point's a huge point. There are not going to be a lot of teams that go into the LA and come away from the Galaxy, the team that they have now. They come away from the Galaxy game with even getting a point out there. It's a very, very difficult game, particularly with the team that you're playing against.
Aziel Jackson, I'm going to play a clip from him in just a second, but he was in the press conference today and made a point of talking about how City, and Sam Adeniran said it too, being undefeated, even though, you have some ties under your belt, but being undefeated and how important that is going into this weekend's game with DC United.
Yeah, I feel like the connection within the group has been strong. I feel like our game plan, we want to find the weak side transition. If it's from the left side from Celio to Indy, vice versa. I feel like when we have a game plan, we want to stick to it. And it starts with the principles that we stand by, that Brad brings to the training ground every single day. And I feel like we've come out and done the best we can, just doing the dirty work first and going forward with that.
And there's Aziel talking about that left side combination. And again, Dale, just get your 2 thoughts really. One on the point that despite draws, that City being undefeated at this point, and then I'll talk a little bit about his left side combination, but undefeated first.
Yeah. So, certainly there is a sense of pride in the work that these guys do. And, now that they've started off as well as we have, and look, I think it's a hard thing to say, 1 win, 3 ties, 6 points, where last year after 4 games, we were on 12 points, but still that was an anomaly. So to be where we are now is an awesome start. And yeah, there's a real sense of pride. There's a real sense of commitment. And I think that it helps galvanize the group because they're pushing one more time now to get through another weekend to keep that mark. Hopefully at home we can get 3 points.
I was going to ask you, he talked in that clip about the left side combination. It seems to really be running on full cylinder. And I think the question was posed in the press conference of, what do we think about a right side combination, the ability of that as well to be, to perhaps City's very vertical. They're very up the middle at times, but these outside combination plays could really up City's game this year.
I think if I heard him correctly, I think he's talking really about weak side 10s. And so when you watch with the team, and we can maybe highlight it this weekend because it's going to be a transition game. When we win the ball on one side of the field in the front half, we want to try to play out through the opposite weak side 10. So, if we're playing, 4-2-3-1. So we've got those three attacking midfield players. We win it on the left flank. Let's say Marcanic and Marcanic and Cilio combined to win a ball. If they can play through the weak side 10, so the right side at 10, let's say that's Rasmus, let's say it's Indy, we can play through him. There's usually a gap there that we can get forward and attack from. And so either side, so if you win on one flank, get to the other. In terms of combination play in the outside channels, Marcanic has been good going forward. I would say our right side's been good too, though. I mean, Totland has got to the end line a number of times, got an assist against Austin, I think, when Celio scored the game-tying goal. So we've had some good play on both sides in terms of outside backs getting forward to join the attack.
Well, I'd love to look forward to seeing maybe that on display at City Park on Saturday. I wanted to give you this clip to react to. This is Coach Carnell Dale talking about the upcoming DC game with Jared and Lucas potentially maybe being on the roster or the pitch.
It's exciting to have those guys and host them here. We know what Jared brings. We know what Lucas brings. And, I know a little bit about Troy Lesane and his staff. So, we're all very connected somehow through former clubs and what have you. What it does do, it creates a ton of energy and anticipation and eagerness. And you know what you're going to get. And it's almost playing a scrimmage against ourselves. So that's the message about going into this week. Be prepared to play yourselves.
So many things he says in there about the energy, of course, anticipating playing former teammates. You've probably done it. I've done it. And also that energy, not only in knowing what you're getting with Jared Stroud and Lucas Bartlett. Also, it's Chris Durkin's former team.
Yeah. I think there's familiarity between the two groups. It doesn't come out that it's gonna be a friendly match. I don't think that.
Are you talking? You saying that's different kind of energy he's talking about?
I think it's gonna be a different kind of energy. I mean, with the style of play, and Coach Carnell said it in the pregame interview last week. Coach said that other teams seem to always put their best foot forward when they play against us, and that they may, in a scout, when the first team staff does a scout on a team, they may see a slower, methodical game. But the way we play, it amps other teams up because they can't play slow and methodical against us because of the amount of pressure and the energy that we put in. DC United does the exact same thing. So this game is going to be like Rock'em Sock'em Robots from back in our childhood. This is going to be back and forth and a lot of transition and a lot of energy, and both teams know it. I mean, I think the familiarity piece that Coach Carnell was talking about is we know how Troy and his club is going to play. Troy knows how Bradley's group is going to play. They both kind of come from the same branch of the tree, from the coaching tree, and they're philosophically very similar. So familiarity's there. They know how the game's going to look, and it's going to look transitional. Now, from an individual perspective, Jared Stroud's going to fight for every inch he can. He's going to raise his arms when the referee makes a call against him.
What?
And,
what? What are you talking about?
Lucas Bartlett's going to win after every header. And they know that Chris Durkin is going to kick people, and he's going to close down every moment that he thinks he can cause a turnover. So it's going to be a really exciting, transitional, high energy type game.
And I think Coach Carnell also remarked today that, it's kind of, he said, playing the game within the game. In other words, he's talking about mentality. He says for this game will be largely mental for both these groups. Yeah,
there's going to be, whenever you're competing the way this game's going to be fought, there is going to be a mentality. The mentality is going to be a big part of it. And then, the other piece is refereeing and how the game is called and controlled, because this could turn into a very, very physical game.
Yeah. Well, I will see you there in the booth on Saturday, my friend. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem. I'll see you Saturday. Thank you.
That was Dale Schilly, St. Louis City Academy director, our analyst on Y98, talking about what absolutely will be, what a game to have back, right? After a couple of weeks of the team being away, it will be packed with energy for sure. More to come. Samuel Adeniran and I think Daniel Esteve is somewhere outside KMOX. We'll get him on the mic as soon as we can here on the St. Louis City Soccer Report on KMOX.
Broadcasting from the Underlaw Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studios.
KMOX.
You know the Midwest Money slogan, isn't cash in the bank better than scrap in the drawer? This is Johnny Rabbit to tell you that's for sure. That's Midwest Money, the oldest coin shop in St. Louis. Buying, selling, and trading since 1971. Silver and gold, coins, sterling silver, antique firearms, military relics, uniforms, flags, medals, daggers, and more. Not sure what you have? Bring it to Midwest Money at 5900 Hampton in South St. Louis to find out. Plus, Midwest Money is home of the largest model train layout in St. Louis. And the first Sunday of every month, bring your family to see this great model railroad exhibit, and it's free. My advice to you is to bring your collectibles to someone you can trust. Midwest Money at the corner of Hampton and Holly Hills. So come on in. They'd like to meet you at Midwest Money. You'll be happy you did.
Cardinal Cowboy here for Renter Garage Door. Are you tired of your outdated garage door? Well, we does that. Top-notch service or repair? We does that too. Renter's the leader when it comes to new garage doors and smart LiftMaster openers. Serving greater St. Louis and surrounding areas since 1966. You know the name forward and back. R-E-N-N-E-R. Whether it's residential, commercial, or repair, Renter does that. Call or click today. RenterDoorSTL.com. The garage door company that does. Giddy up!
Hello, this is Chad Clayman with Clayman Group, KLAMEN Group.com, where we buy houses direct and as-is condition with no middleman involved. I recently bought a house from somebody that was embarrassed to let me in the door. There was stuff all over the place, and the entire house smelled like smoke. However, we were definitely able to see the potential. We gave them a great cash offer that they were very happy with. So if you have a house that isn't in the best shape, maybe in disrepair, we're interested in making you an as-is cash offer. Please reach out today, KLAMEN Group.com.
Join your St. Louis Symphony Orchestra and music director Stefan Deneuve as noble power is on display in Beethoven's Emperor Concerto, performed by Tom Borrow. Plus, hear Julia Wolf's folk-tinged Pretty and Hector Berlioz's witty and wild overture. March 22nd and 23rd at UMSL's Two Hill Performing Arts Center. Tickets at slso.org.
Hey guys, Glover here from my friends at ThrottleNet. So I'm so very proud to have represented the guys at ThrottleNet for all of these years. They are the IT geniuses. George and Mike are the owners. Fantastic guys. They can do all of your IT. They can do a portion of your IT. They have the best Apple support team. Their response time is under 2 minutes. Think about that, under 2 minutes. Something goes sideways with your IT, and they are solving your problem. And they're solving your problem within 2 minutes. Now, let's talk about cybersecurity. Most companies in St. Louis don't have cyber liability insurance. You get hit, you're on the hook, you're probably out of business. With ThrottleNet, if we represent you, we protect you. The first $500,000 that someone hits you for, which isn't going to happen, but if it does, we pay it. $500,000. That's what you're covered for with ThrottleNet. Go to throttlenet.com/DGS for all the information.
Navien tankless water heaters, the proven leader in condensing technology. Request a Navien because you deserve the best in endless hot water delivery. Learn about Navien's condensing tankless water heaters and find a Navien contractor at tanklessmadesimple.com.
Her words weren't written under peaceful shade, but under fear for her life.
I don't think of all the misery, but of the beauty that still remains.
The words of Anne Frank continue to fill us with hope. Hope. Pass it on from passiton.com.
Let's talk garage doors. Your garage door. Is it too loud or letting cold or hot air in around the frame? Overhead Door Company of St. Louis will make it all better. In March only, they will perform their full 26-task garage door tune-up for just $79 and just in March. That's just $79 for up to 3 garage doors and openers. You need this done once a year, so why not now? And for just $79. Schedule now at overheaddoorsstlouis.com.
The Y98 St. Louis City Soccer Report continues on America's Sports Voice, KMOX.
Jackson in the corner. City corner kick, looking to make it 2-2. Jackson, right foot, back stick. Sam gets ahead. Oh, yeah! I don't believe it! What an incredible moment. A bicycle kick right in front of the goal. One of the most incredible things you will ever see from St. Louis City SC.
That was Joey Zanaboni on the call on Y98 with a little bit of Dale Shilley on Joachim Nielsen's crazy bike kick that I feel like I have to tell my 13. He's 13 now, son, every day now to stop doing that. I don't want you to break your neck. Joining me now in studio, Daniel Esteve from Fox 2 News. Thanks for your time today. And you've entered the live stream. So if you aren't looking, follow us on Facebook or Twitter. You can see it there.
Jen, I told you I'm camera shy.
You're so
you
camera
can't
shy.
just throw a camera on me like this out of nowhere. Unbelievable.
Yeah, right.
I thought we were just talking.
That's
tonight.
what happens to radio people. The camera goes on and we're like, oh, I have to look nice. Okay, well, baseball cap it is.
Baseball cap. I'm glad I got that part right, at least.
So, yeah, what did you think about that goal? Obviously, overall, like City's performance at LA, overall, we're going to get to Sam Adeniran interview in just a little bit. It's not too long, but overall, what a crazy. He's into the game. We find his head. The ball finds Nilsson's foot in the air where it usually doesn't belong, and the ball finds the back of the net.
Yeah, my first thought was it hurt because I've tried that on a mattress and I've tried that on ground and I've tried that on a beach, like all kids who dream of having a goal like that would try. But it hurts every single time.
Yeah.
So that's just the first part.
I did one in high school, but I missed.
Oh my goodness. I doubt it.
Oh no, I
need
missed.
to pull the tape up on that
and
one.
I was like, oh, when you fall on your back, the wind just exits your body. It's like, oh. And play went on.
And then the shame,
they left me.
and then the shame starts to set in afterwards.
And I kept thinking that would have been so good if I'd connected.
That's the second part of it, though. So there's the pain, there's the actual connection of the goal.
Yeah.
Then there's the idea that this guy's a defender.
Yeah.
So that's the perfect trifecta of that becoming what was the MLS goal of the week. And my goodness, how deserving is that? It's funny.
He says, hey, Tim Parker scores with his head. I'm going to do it a little bit differently.
That's Tim Parker's staple, okay? And he scores with his hair, okay? We've all established this.
The goal is the hair.
He does not score with his head. He scores with the hair. That's a fact with Tim Parker. But when it comes with Joachim Nielsen, the goal was incredible. And I was thinking about it. We'll talk about it, I'm sure, at some point. But the USA-Jamaica game today, before the USA equalized in regular time, Christian Pulisic had an opportunity to do a bike kick. So it's the willingness to do it. Christian Pulisic, goal-scoring machine, didn't even attempt it. So for Joachim to actually try it, just in general, regardless of the potential whiff, the potential shame, and of course, the pain, he connected. And my goodness, what a goal it was.
But, I think he didn't feel any pain. The adrenaline that was, you see his face, the adrenaline that was surging through him. It wasn't until the next day that you're like, why does that hurt back there? That would be
You've
why.
You've got to rewatch the replay, though, because there's the initial, like, wait a second, did that go in? Holy smokes. And then he starts celebrating. So there's always the, wait a second, that just happened moment. And then they can go on to celebrate.
Well, somebody else who also did not necessarily know right away that it went in was the guy who made it happen besides our corner kick taker was Samuel Adeniran. He has thoughts from our interview on Tuesday. Only 2 months break between last season and this season. You've come in with a bang. What do you possibly do in a 2-month period of time to get ready for the next season?
Prepare like everyone else, staying in shape, working out, working on the things that you struggled on in the past season. So just normal stuff.
Do you have to actually do any playing, or is it just individual skill stuff? There's no team play that you're doing in a break, right?
You can do a little bit of both if you have guys that that you work out with, like other professionals and stuff like that, which is what I do. Get a little bit of games in, scrimmages, small stuff. And working by yourself.
The immediacy of the impact on the LA Galaxy game, I don't think can go unnoticed. Mm-hmm. You're in it maybe a minute later, your head is involved in a corner kick that finds Nilsson. Talk about that difference between when you start a game and you're going to go a longer distance versus when you're subbing on and the team needs an impact immediately.
It's one of those things where you have to have the same mentality in both. You just got to have the mentality of starting off good. Yeah, when you come off the bench, it's hard to kind of get into the rhythm of the game immediately. Most importantly, it's just your mentality going into the game. Whatever you get, just giving your all.
Does it change how you approach the game at all?
Obviously, I would say yes, because there are certain things that you would do at the start of the game that you wouldn't do right before you come on. Like, for example, when you're warming up before the game, you warm up with the guys and stuff like that. You get shots in, stuff like that. But then when you're warming up, on the sideline, at like halftime or let's say like the 60th minute. You're not doing those same things because you can't actually get onto the field to actually like take shots and warm up in that way. But I would say that's the only difference.
The corner kick goes off your head. Were you even able to see what Nilsson did, or did you have to find out after the fact because it literally is coming off your forehead?
So I headed it, and then I kind of saw Nilsson like just jump up and do something, and then like my head kind of goes down, and then as I look up again, everyone's celebrating. So I'm like, oh, okay, well,
Yeah, we scored.
Yeah, we scored. I saw a little bit of what happened, but I didn't necessarily see the ball going in, but I saw everyone celebrating. So I was like, okay.
Call out Roman Berkey too. Without Roman, I think after the team goes down 2-1 and there's an immediate threat again on goal, he makes whatever of his many crazy saves to keep the team in there so that we can have you come in and make a difference. The impact of your goalkeeper.
I mean, everyone.
Everybody can see your face right now.
Yeah. Everyone knows what Roman can do. Everybody knows who Roman is. The best goalkeeper in the league. And it's to be honest with you, I'm not trying to disrespect any of the other goalkeepers, but it's not even close. Like he's just by far the best goalkeeper in the league.
He's just crazy good.
Yeah, and he just shows it every single game. So I mean, yeah, without Roman, we would not be in the position that we're in. And we're grateful to have him on this team.
I got to believe that when a defender has already dealt with either you or Klaus and then sees the other one coming in is like, oh man, I got to deal with this guy now.
Yeah, I definitely would say that's a weapon that we have in our arsenal. So if you have me or Klaus coming at you, I'm sure the defenders are definitely scared.
We've seen you fight through 2-3 defenders dragging on you. And I think it is Caceres' only choice. I hope you're okay, first of all.
Yes.
And do you know a hit like that is coming?
I didn't think he was going to come in that crazy. That was a little overboard, hence the red card. But I mean, I think I heard someone say, they were saying that, it's kind of like a sign of respect because, if someone hits you like that, they obviously know that you can do damage. So I would say thanks to him.
Roman Berkey recently said that too. He's like, I don't think Caceres had a choice but to make sure Sam, he goes in and he gets a goal and they lose having the tie.
Definitely. So, yeah, I mean, I would say I'm grateful for the respect. But at the end of the day, I mean, it's a game. That type of stuff happens. So you move on and you move forward.
Speaking of ties, tie with Austin, tie with LA Galaxy. On the scoreboard, it looks the same, but that's got to feel different.
Definitely, I would say that obviously, it was a little bit different against Austin than LA Galaxy. But I would definitely say, the most important thing is that we didn't go out there with a loss. That's what we're happy about. We want to go in and we want to win every single game. But professional sports, that doesn't always happen. I think with the principles that we have and the things that we do, we put ourselves in the best position to win games. And if we don't come out with a win, at least a draw.
Well, you're undefeated so far. Yeah, good momentum for coming back into City Park, yeah?
That's the most important thing, is that we haven't lost. And being a team in this league that knows how not to lose is very important. So we're grateful for that.
Back at City Park, DC United, another cross-conference game. It's not the first time I'm sure you've played with former teammates, but we might see Jared, could see Lucas on the pitch. Coach said something about it bringing an extra energy when you're playing former teammates.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, because they're guys that and you want to stick it to them, But yeah, those are great guys, great teammates as well. So, I mean, yeah, but we're going in there to get the 3 points, and there are no friends on the field.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, no friends on the field, Daniel.
Oh, I was locked in on the. Yeah, that's good. Jen just rooting for the beef between
I was just
these
like,
players.
oh, what a quote. I should have left it there, but I had to leave in the reaction because there are no friends on the field. We've all played against you. You play soccer on weekends. Occasionally you play with and against the same people, I'm sure. My sister and I played with each other, but if we played against, there might be a rogue slide tackle.
Jen, yeah, we're talking about the MLS rivalries. Nothing.
I'm sorry.
Nothing quite matches the intensity of a Sunday rec league.
Sunday
game,
rec league soccer.
MLS is bush league compared to that intensity and that fire.
So, what do you think of one thing I have to admit, I have to call out, is the fact that, of course, Klaus wants to start. Of course, Sam wants to start. They don't like. It's not in their nature to come off the bench, but they do it so well. And I have to think that, again, if you are a defender and you've just dealt with one all game and you see the other one standing up fresh, ready to kick your butt again, you got to be thinking, really? I think that's what Caceres was thinking.
Absolutely. I mean, that was the only option he had, right? And the funny thing is, both these guys are competing, and that seems to be the case with all the players in the lineup. Really, Bradley Carnell talking about how they want to be too deep at every position. Today, during his press conference, he actually added that they feel like they're more than too deep in some positions, but the striker position, that's the goal-scoring spot. That's the one where you need the most competition. And the great thing, the relief for a Bradley Carnell, is that these two strikers in particular offer very different skill sets. So you can really tailor that to whatever competition you have or whatever opponent you're playing against. And you can use those skill sets either together or bring one in, like you mentioned, in the 60th minute. And if you see Sam Adeniran coming on, you're stressing.
Yeah.
If you see João Klaus, who can hold up the ball well and distribute to the wings, you're thinking, well, shoot, now I got to worry about 3 different players coming on the outside. You just have so many different ways to attack. And Sam hit it on the head. It's one thing to maybe not go 5 straight like they did last year in the win category, but it's a whole nother thing to not lose games. And when you can do that, especially with the depth they have, you've got to feel good. And City feels pretty good right now.
Yeah, he hit it on the head with that, and he assisted on the head. So more to come. We've got Laws of the Game with George Ganser. We got to talk about some of the referee stuff. That's up next on the KMOX St. Louis City Soccer Report.
Attention contractors, it's Andrea and Scott at Best Buy Flooring. We've joined forces with Carpet for Less to open a location in South County.
Visítenos para todas sus necesidades de pisos, como tablones de vinilo, láminas de vinilo, laminados y una gran selección de carpeta.
Celebrate our grand opening. Buy 1 square foot of in-stock hardwood at $2.99. Get 1 square foot free.
Sí, compre un pie de madera dura en stock y obtenga un pie cuadrado gratis.
Come see us at 13520 Tesson Ferry Road or anytime in Hazelwood, Missouri or O'Fallon, Illinois. Open 7 days a week. Best flooring, best selection, Best Buy Flooring.
Saturdays are made for soccer. Presented by Michelob Ultra. Superior light beer. Enjoy responsibly. Catch St. Louis City Soccer anywhere you go on the Odyssey app. Or grab your friends and catch the game at any City on Tap location, bringing City SC fans and beer together.
Hi, my name is Bradley Parnell from St. Louis City. Saturdays are made for soccer.
Brought to you by Together Credit Union, the exclusive banking partner of City SC.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
If you've been hurt on the job, you need the best. Onder Law. Hurt on the job? Call Onder Law today for a free review at 314 or 618-9000000.
Get this, 42% of baby boomers don't even know how much money they have in their nest egg. If you're not sure where you stand in terms of getting ready for retirement, you should be listening to the All Financial Hour with Steve All.
Let's sit down and talk about your questions, because I think that's the most important thing that it is out there. It's what questions do you have?
Join host Steve All Saturday mornings at 10 right here on KMOX.
Jewels on Hampton in St. Louis Hills is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, and fine watches on site. Jewels on Hampton is a premier jeweler with an exquisite selection of diamonds, semi-precious stone jewelry, and vintage watches. Their expert design team can restyle your jewelry to today's contemporary style. They also do jewelry and watch repair. Need extra cash? Jewels on Hampton is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, and fine watches. Bring in your collectibles and clocks, sports memorabilia, and figurines too. Jewels on Hampton, 4506 Hampton, just 3 blocks south of Chippewa. Call them at 314-752-5000. Jewels on Hampton.
Lean into relaxation with AAA. Get away to Punta Cana in the Dominican Republic starting at $694 for 5 days at the all-inclusive adults-only Hotel Rio República. It includes all meals, drinks, and activities at no charge and complimentary access to Splash Water World Water Park. Go to AAA.com/travel. AAA membership is the key to benefits and savings with a Hertz car rental. Through March 22nd, save up to 35% off the rental base rate. AAA Travel.
Life is challenging and ever-changing. Take control with passive income through real estate investing. Learn how. Learn now. Let Dell Walmsley and Lifestyles Unlimited's investors and mentors show you. Meet Dell's team live in St. Louis 2 days only at the Hilton Frontenac. Saturday and Sunday, April 27th and 28th. Register now at GiveMeTotalFreedom.com. That's GiveMeTotalFreedom.com. Enter promo code 2024 for a special discount offer. GiveMeTotalFreedom.com. Code 2024.
When you have Rhino Shield on your house, it does a couple of things for you. It beautifies the house and it protects it from the harshest elements. And boy, do we see those here in the greater St. Louis area. You get instant curb appeal. It will stick to anything. Rhino Shield is the answer, no matter whether you're painting a home or a church or a business or a condo, because it's 100% waterproof. It takes care of the outdoor maintenance on whatever is on the outside of your home. The brick, the block, aluminum, steel, stucco, They can put this on with the 2 to 3 coat process. They're there about a week, and they do a great job. A lot of businesses have done it in the area. Several Firestones have done that. Vantage Credit Union over the years, Harlan Packaging down in DeSoto. Call Darren today and schedule your free estimate. 877-25-RHINO, easy to remember phone number, or go online today at 877-25rhino.com.
The Y98 St. Louis City Soccer Report continues on America's Sports Voice, KMOX.
Welcome back into KMOX Studios with Jennifer Siess and Daniel Esteve. Daniel, I don't know if you know, but it's that time.
Is it that time?
It is.
Now, laws of the game.
Yeah. Right?
Wow.
Joining us now, George Gansner, former FIFA and MLS referee. I thought, George, I'd lead you in with a little clip about a red card that happened in the City game.
Cleared out by Totland. Adeniran settles it down at midfield and breaks loose. Adeniran one-on-one with Cáceres. He's hammered down outside the box. Whistle comes out. Restart. Free kick City.
So it takes a lot to take Sam Adeniran out, and Cáceres used all he had. What's your take on that call, George?
Yeah, so the defender, myself, that is a very smart play by Cáceres. But what that does is, in the laws of the game, it results in a red card, right? And so the red card, I wasn't able to find it whether it was for denial of a clear goal scoring opportunity, but it did meet all the criteria for a denial of a clear goal scoring opportunity. There were no other defenders. He was going the right direction. He had an ability to score a goal, and there's other criteria, but it met all of them. But it also met the criteria for serious foul play. So serious foul play is when—
Can you get two red cards at one time?
They can do one, and they both have the same suspension, so it really doesn't matter. But that's when the player has the ball and you make a tackle on the ball, and it's usually with a straight leg over the top, and it's hard surface on soft tissue and stuff like that. Whereas a violent conduct is another way for a red card, and that's when the ball's not around and maybe somebody punches somebody or spits on somebody or something like that. So clear red card for Cáceres. It's one or the other. It's denial of a clear goal scoring opportunity, or it's a serious foul.
Same result either way. George, it's Daniel Esteve. Forgive me, I'm still a little in that trance from your opening music. My goodness, did you pick that out yourself?
Daniel, isn't that great?
It's annoying. It's annoying. Stop it.
Jen loves it.
No,
Jen
it's
loves
gross.
it across the way.
Oh, put it down, Matt.
George, I'm just curious. You know, I spent a whole career across a couple of sports just barking at refs, but is there something to be said about
on Sunday Night Rec League?
Right. And
Sunday
I probably
morning?
still do, but is there something to be said about reps, especially with refereeing, that now that there's been a little bit of time that has passed, you have these interim refs coming in? Do they get any better with time and with a couple reps?
So the short answer is yes, they do get better with more repetition, but we're talking about years, not games, right? And so most of the referees that are on the field now, they're qualified in some way to do these games, but at a much lower level, right? And so it takes years to get the experience of the people who are locked out right now to be able to do the job that they're doing. And, it's frustrating for me to watch. I know I'm on the side of the referees that are locked out, and the guys that are running pro, they're also friends. They're former referees that were on the field, but they took the job on the management side, and well, there's the debate, right? You have to do your job. So,
well, I may be putting you on the spot here, and maybe this is a difficult thing to compare, but when you think about the talent disparity between the refs that we would normally have versus the refs that were being used right now, I mean, can you cater it to a level of soccer or a level of basketball or a level of football, whether it be the difference between a Division I player and a pro player, or a Division III player and a pro player? What's that disparity like in true talent and true ability?
Yeah. So because of the way that the PSRA is set up, it's actually an association that then became the top level became the union. Okay. And so when you're talking about the top level, we're talking about literally people who worked their respective World Cup finals over the past 2 years. Ismail Elfath and a couple others who were on the men's World Cup final. And then Tori Penso and the entire crew was from the United States on the women's World Cup final. And so we're talking about a top echelon here. Because it's an association and because there are a lot of people in that association, we're talking about then levels, USL 1, MLS Next Pro, USL 1, even USL 2 referees said, we're not doing it. We're staying with the people that we are associated with in the association. And then there are others then. So we're talking about 4 tiers lower, right? And again, they've brought in some people from different parts of the world who have experience at lower levels. But in essence, we're talking about, seriously 4 tiers lower of referees. And that's why there have been so many mess ups.
George, I want to ask you real quick because Dale talked a little bit about it with some concern about this game with St. Louis City, DC United, former teammates, right? We got to have a lot of energy. We could talk about this in terms of fun energy, but it's going to be a physical game. What's the concerns with still not having the top level refs on this game?
Yeah, it still goes back to player safety. There's and again, player safety and points. Points are very, very important. They're important all season long. But they're especially important at the beginning of 3 months of the season, and they're especially important at the last 3 months of the season. The summer in the United States is a massive grind, and it's hot and it's humid, and you're traveling across the country, and it's really hard to get those points over the summer. So when the weather's cooler, the teams want the points. They're going for those points. And, there have been a lot of games that have been impacted directly by the referees and sometimes indirectly where decisions are made and everything could have gone a completely different way. You'll never know because that decision wasn't right. And does that happen sometimes with the pro referees or the PSRA referees? Sure it does. But it happens so significantly less often that my concern is player safety and points.
Thanks, George. We'll be looking for your opinions on the next game when DC United and St. Louis City meet at City Park. That's hour number 1 of the St. Louis City Soccer Report. More to come in the second hour right after this break here on KMOX.
At Neovitin, we are all about supporting your nutrition, and that's why we are excited about our new Neovitin Omega-3 supplement. Neovitin Omega-3 is formulated with 1,200 milligrams of omega-3 fatty acids to help support healthy hearts. Our high-quality omega-3 fish oils are sourced from wild-caught fish and tested for heavy metals. With our convenient monthly subscription, you can get Neovitin Omega-3 delivered right to your door every month with no long-term obligations. Support your daily nutrition and sign up for a Neovitin Omega-3 subscription at neovitin.com today.
The final days of the construction sales event are going on now at Audi Exchange Kirkwood. Stop in today and choose from hundreds of new Audis. And right now, take up to 10% off MSRP and get special low-rate financing on our great selection of new Audis. Coming soon in April, we're excited to introduce the all-new Audi Exchange Kirkwood, complete with over 35,000 square feet of nothing but Audi and a new attitude. Visit AudiKirkwood.com.
A goal without a plan is just a wish. To get started on your retirement income plan, call Sachs Financial today and live your best life now and in retirement. Sachs Financial, the home of the retirement compensation plan at retiresafestl.com.
The key to a great lawn is Scott's 4-Step Fertilizer Program, available at Cotton's Ace Hardware. When you buy the Scott's 4-Step Program, you'll receive a $20 Ace gift card only at Cotton's Ace Hardware locations. With the Scott's 4-Step Program, you'll feed your lawn after a harsh winter, control the spring weeds, and every season throughout the year, you'll have the product that you need to make your lawn the best one around. When it comes to lawn care, stop guessing because the experts have already done it for you. Get the Scott's 4-Step Program at any area Cotton's Ace Hardware.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates, real solutions for real people.
Let's Save Lives. An introduction to suicide prevention is an education program designed by and for the Black community. To learn more, go to afsp.org/chapters. AFSP is an I'm Listening partner. Learn more at imlistening.org and on the Odyssey app.
KMOX, KECK HD2, K254CR, St. Louis.
The home of the Cardinals, KMOX. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. The search for two armed and dangerous suspects in Idaho comes to an end. Police say an inmate and
Dr. Christopher Gibbons is a neurologist at Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center in Boston and a professor of neurology at Harvard Medical School. Jim Crisula, CBS News.
the Justice Department is leading a lawsuit against Apple, saying the company exerts too much control, stifling competition. Attorney General Merrick Garland.
For consumers, that has meant fewer choices, higher prices and fees, lower quality smartphones, apps, and accessories, and less innovation from Apple and its competitors.
Apple says the DOJ's antitrust lawsuit is wrong on the facts and it will fight it. Well, so much for spring. The upper plains and Midwest are bracing for a blast of snow. Weather Channel meteorologist Mike Bettis.
First one comes in tonight and tomorrow puts down a swath of snow through the upper Midwest. Places like Milwaukee could be looking at 3 to 5 inches of snow. Then eventually that system gets its act together across the Northeast, could produce significant snow here and significant wind as well.
Jack Golke made 10 three-pointers, and 14th-seeded Oakland delivered its first true shock of this year's March Madness, beating 3rd-seeded Kentucky 80-76 in the first round of the NCAA tournament. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Mid-America's most trusted source for news. KMOX.
At 9:03, we have clear skies, 49 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Maria Aquino. Our top local story, researchers at Washington University School of Medicine are working on what's called an exercise pill. KMOX health editor Fred Bottomer explains.
The compound WashU researchers are studying could possibly mimic the benefits of a full workout. Any such pill is still a long way off, but the principal investigator, WashU medicinal chemist, Dr. Bahe Algendi, says it has a lot of potential.
So in effect, what we saw in animals, what's happening is this kind of chemical compound is making the body of the mouse acting like it is training for a marathon. And this, of course, leads to increase in energy expenditure and faster metabolism of fat in the body.
Dr. Algendi says he's hoping the compound will be ready for clinical trials within 5 years. Fred Bottomer, KMOX News.
$17 million in federal funds committed now to help St. Louis renovate a historic landmark.
U.S. Secretary of the Interior Deb Haaland was on hand to announce $17 million in new funds from the Great American Outdoors Act that will go to Gateway National Park, in particular, the old courthouse. She says this money will be used to renovate the courthouse to make it more accessible and more modern, and also enhance some of the exhibits and create new ones.
And new exhibits that will tell an even clearer story of the Dred Scott case and its impacts on American history.
Secretary Holland adds that these renovations will restore the exterior and the upper floors of the old courthouse. Outside the old courthouse, Sean Malone at KMOX News.
The Brickline Greenway we have told you about is another step in bringing new urbanism to the region. Great Rivers Greenway secured funding for a pedestrian overpass to run between the bridge decks of 6440, connecting two entertainment districts. But Explore St. Louis spokeswoman Kat Neville expects it to be like New York City's High Line, more than just a bridge.
They're going to be working in benches and public art and water fountains. And so it's not just a path. It's not a sidewalk. It really is meant to be a way that you can get like a network of trails that are meant for people with strollers and people on bikes and people in wheelchairs and people on foot.
There's a new residential tower being built in the area, also a new apartment building with the Target store finishing up work. Plus, the main and hospital campuses of St. Louis University are divided by the highway. Well, there will be some restrictions headed into Illinois starting tomorrow night at 9 o'clock.
All weekend long, the eastbound lanes of the Popper Street Bridge will be shut down at the South Route 3 exit at the Illinois end, and the eastbound King Bridge will also be closed for patching work. This will be the first of 6 weekends involving patching work on the Illinois side of the bridges. The alternate routes would be the Mutual Veterans Bridge and the McKinley Bridge on the north side. Roger Brand, KMOX News.
A chilly night, partly cloudy, 35 degrees for tomorrow. We could see some few limited showers. Increasing winds with a high of 69 degrees. Quick cool down. Tomorrow night, clouds and low of 35. Maybe some evening showers. And then for Saturday, sunny, chilly, gusty winds once again with an afternoon high of 52 degrees. Right now, 44 in St. Peters. It's 49 in Florissant. And downtown at the Arch, it's 49. I'm Maria Aquino, KMOX News.
The Y98 St. Louis City Soccer Report continues on America's Sports Voice, KMOX.
Jennifer Siess here with you from KMOX in our second hour of the St. Louis City Soccer Report, but this time the whole hour with Daniel Esteve. Saying goodbye to Maria Aquino here on the studio from Fox 2. What were you doing when you were not doing 30 minutes of this show?
I was holding down the fort down at Fox 2. Ironically, it actually wasn't a Fox 2 show I was broadcasting for. It was Channel 11, KPLR 11, where we do have shows at 4 and 7 o'clock, specifically sportscasts at 4 and 7 o'clock.
This is when you say,
well.
I'm busy.
I
have a thing.
But the thing is regardless of what thing I may be doing, if Jen calls, I got to come. Immediately, I got to be on the spot.
Hi, it would start at 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock.
Okay.
I didn't say I had to come on time.
That's true. But no, I thank you for joining me here. And in this segment, we're going to get to Charles Boehm, who's in the middle of covering the U.S. men's national team win over Jamaica. And he can talk all things. And if we get joined by Ty Keogh, who's a favorite on the show, who can talk anything soccer, honestly.
A favorite of the show, a favorite of life.
Favorite of life. Ongoing issues with what I think they call, fraternization, that violations. And a Houston Dash coach was let go today. A goalkeeper coach was let go today. And it is an ongoing problem in the games. But before we get to all that, I wanted to actually take this segment and talk a little bit about you. I got to meet you probably on the training field at St. Louis City. I think it's where we met. In a press conference room together, and you cover all sports, right? I have the luxury of covering the one sport, and which keeps me busy all day.
Yeah.
So curious as to your journey. What do you thought of? Because you were also involved with the city broadcast back in pre-first opening 2023 season with City.
Yeah, absolutely.
So bring me up to speed on all your adventures and how far it's come with you with City today.
Honestly, it's been crazy, not just with City, but just with my career as a whole. And this is a great example that no career is linear. When I accepted a job at Fox 2, it was not for the job that I do now. It was actually a digital role. And I was super excited, hoping to build up my skills, whether it be podcasting or just writing, and just be in an environment that has pro sports teams and great people where I felt like I could grow. And 2 weeks later, one of our great sports broadcasters at the time decided to call it a time as far as his broadcast career was concerned. He left and that position came open, and that's where I slid right through. And so as far as the opportunity, unbelievable ever since. But I certainly had that niche that I love to cover soccer. And that's when I just think the luck involved with coming to St. Louis at this time was next level. And it was through meeting great people like yourself, like Nate Gatter, who's obviously a member of the show. Nate, who I got to call those City 2 games with. Thanks to Vinco over at St. Louis City and then Courtney Mueller and that whole squad. Who I met playing rec soccer just on a pickup on Sunday.
Right.
Yep,
Yeah, because he's got that pickup soccer thing going. It's
on
great.
Sunday morning. So you really never know where things are going to take you. Unfortunately, so many great people in St. Louis, 2 in this room right now. And so it's been an awesome time. But I've certainly found a niche in soccer that I really enjoy. So that's why we've run into each other so many times
That's
covering
right.
City.
So what has it been like? What was it? I have to think with the City 2 games, you knew it was coming. You probably saw some of the potential of City, but did you see the potential of last year? Or did
Nobody
that
did.
get you by surprise
Nobody
too? Okay.
did. Crystal ball was the only way you would have seen that. And I think it was surprising. And honestly, in some cases, this is just my opinion, but it almost happened too fast for City personnel as well.
Oh gosh.
Because they
yeah.
were expecting things to be good, but a slow progression.
Sure.
And that includes the fan support. The fans just coming out in troves, that's something that's difficult to maintain, which hats off to City fans all across the planet that they've maintained that level of energy, that level of interest. And part of that is also stepping up on the field. But City has been incredible and historic, obviously, for lack of a better word. And it's funny, we talk about being unbeaten, but only having one win. Some people will scoff at that, but it's only because of how incredible last year was. Because any given year, you're undefeated through 4. You're in prime position. And I think fans need to remind themselves of that because this has been great for City so far.
Well, and let's be honest too, that when City look at Kansas City, Sporting Kansas City, they did not start out really well, and they wind up beating City at the end.
Yeah.
You 34 games, so much can happen. I mean, you cover baseball; that's a long season.
Oh, yeah.
Umpteen million games. The start of a season is certainly not the tell-all for the end of a season.
No, and it's important, especially for our European players who needed time to adjust last year. Edu Leuven, unfortunately, injured right now, though Bradley Carnell in his press conference today said he is
Jogging around a little bit, right?
Jogging around ahead of schedule, which is great news. But you talk to Roman Berkey, you talk to Edu Leuven in the middle of summer, specifically after that Club America game when they played at City Park in blistering heat. They said, yeah, I don't think we were prepared for what we're dealing with right now. And it was an adjustment for them. And I think they're taking this season to be a bit more patient with how they understand it's a longer season. They need to pace themselves a little bit.
Well, before we get to break, there was one little story I want you to tell. It's a story that you told me when I was on your podcast called Wembley's Game. You had I think you should have a good following. I love what you do, but tell me the story of how your podcast got its name.
Oh, Wembley? So
yeah.
Wembley's
your
actually,
puppy.
Yeah, Wembley's named after my dog. It's actually his birthday in 10 days. Shout out to Wembley, 3rd birthday.
There you go.
We'll have a celebration for him. But Wembley was named after, of course, Wembley Stadium, which you would be so surprised, maybe not, that so many people will be like, oh, his name's Wembley. Are you a big tennis fan? And I'm thinking,
okay, right.
Good first letter, but Wimbledon, not the same as Wembley Stadium. But essentially is, of course, Wembley's the home of football, and there were ties to soccer and my wanting to be involved with soccer through a podcast. Wanted it to be the focal of attention, but I wanted it to also have a personal touch. So Wembley himself was named after the podcast, vice versa. But Wembley was named after the first game I ever watched as a fan of soccer. I watched it at Wembley Stadium. It was a friendly between Tottenham Hotspur and Juventus.
Oh
it was
my
a 2-0 win for Tottenham. I've unfortunately dedicated all my fandom to Tottenham, aside from my fandom for St. Louis City, of course. When I'm not being an unbiased journalist, Jen, don't give me those eyes.
Of course.
But it's been a journey, certainly, with Tottenham. But Wembley's Game has been such a good treat. And it's just like what my careers looked like in St. Louis. It is strictly just meeting incredible people and just riding their coattails because they are so much cooler than I am. And getting to chat with them for 20 to 30 minutes is pretty neat every week.
Well, it was a fun experience for sure. So go check that out if you haven't followed him yet on Twitter or X or whatever the heck that the name of that is. Because I haven't headed out to Threads at this point in time. There's only so many social media
Can't do
platforms
it.
I can
If my
manage.
job didn't require it, I probably wouldn't be on any, but
It's
here we
Daniel
are.
J. Esteve.
Yep.
You can find you there, and you also post about your podcast there.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, well, there'll be another guy whose Twitter handle we'll give you of Charles Boehm, writer for MLSsoccer.com. He can talk again, like Ty, all things soccer. He's been covering the U.S. men's national team tonight. We'll talk to him next on the Soccer Report on KMOX.
You know, the Midwest Money slogan, isn't cash in the bank better than scrap in the drawer? This is Johnny Rabbit to tell you that's for sure. That's Midwest Money, the oldest coin shop in St. Louis. Buying, selling, and trading since 1971. Silver and gold, coins, sterling silver, antique firearms, military relics, uniforms, flags, medals, daggers, and more. Not sure what you have? Bring it to Midwest Money at 5900 Hampton in South St. Louis to find out. Plus, Midwest Money is home of the largest model train layout in St. Louis. And the first Sunday of every month, bring your family to see this great model railroad exhibit, and it's free. My advice to you is to bring your collectibles to someone you can trust. Midwest Money at the corner of Hampton and Holly Hills. So come on in. They'd like to meet you at Midwest Money. You'll be happy you did.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
At Onder Law, we deliver big judgments for the little guy. Onder Law takes on the biggest industries and holds them accountable. Call today for a free review at 314 or 618-9000000.
Anywhere Lombardo is proud to present the Parkside Series, our newest series of homes available to build on your lot. These ranch 1.5-story and 2-story homes start from 1,500 square feet to over 2,700 square feet and feature open great rooms, chef-inspired kitchens, and contemporary exterior elevations. Want to tour a new home in person? We invite you to visit the Sunbury, our newest Parkside Series decorated display, located at the streets of Caledonia in O'Fallon. Visit our website at lombardohomes.com to view floor plans and pricing.
Hi, I'm Jim Brennan with McKelvey Homes. This may be your last chance to get the new carefree villa home of your dreams at the Preserve in Afton. Our homes offer a lifestyle of convenience and relaxation without the burdens of lawn, landscaping, and snow removal. The Preserve is conveniently located at Watson and McKenzie Road with sales prices starting in the 480s. We will build to order or select from one of our 7 move-in ready homes at substantial savings and special financing in the 4s. Hurry, these deals won't last. Visit McKelveyhomes.com.
Hi, this is Steve Butts with the Crawford Butts Insurance Agency. I know we're all experiencing sticker shock when you get your insurance premium. Now more than ever, you need an independent insurance agent to find the best value for your family's insurance needs. Crawford Butts, family owned and operated for more than 60 years. Please give us a call at 314-752-2500 or at crawfordbutts.com.
Genesis of St. Charles wants you in a new Genesis. Just for owning a Nissan, Hyundai, or a Highline vehicle, you could get up to $2,000 in incentives on a GV70 or a GV80. You don't even have to trade that vehicle in. If you're military or first responder, they can add on to that incentive. So check out Genesis of stcharles.com for a full listing of qualifying vehicles. Genesis of St. Charles, just days away from opening their brand new showroom. There are so many ways to get behind the vehicle of your dreams at genesisofstcharles.com.
Hello, America. It's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you don't have Consumer Cellular yet, now is the perfect time to switch and save. For a limited time, new customers can get wireless service for as low as $15 a month for your first year. Yep, the same exact nationwide coverage as the leading carriers for $15 a month for an entire year. What are you waiting for? Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com and use code RADIO15.
See consumercellular.com/firstyear15 for promotional details.
Do you feel like you're going through life clouded by doubt? Talk to California Psychics. Our trusted and accurate psychics are available 24/7. And we guarantee if it's not life-changing, it's free. Download the app or connect with us at californiapsychics.com. Right now, new customers get 80% off their first reading. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Did you know that St. Louis composting is open all year long? It may be winter, but it's the perfect time to start planning for next spring's bountiful garden and lawn.
For more information, visit stlcompost.com.
Cardinal Cowboy here for Renter Garage Door. Are you tired of your outdated garage door? Well, we does that. Top-notch service or repair, we does that too. Renter's the leader when it comes to new garage doors and smart LiftMaster openers. Serving Greater St. Louis and surrounding areas since 1966. You know the name forward and back. RENNER. Whether it's residential, commercial, or repair, Renter does that. Call or click today. RenterDoorSTL.com. The garage door company that does. Giddy up!
The Y98 St. Louis City Soccer Report continues on America's Sports Voice, KMOX.
Welcome back into Downtown Studio, hour number 2, a quarter of the way underway. Jennifer Siess and Daniel Esteve on St. Louis City Soccer Report, joined now by Charles Boehm, writer for MLSsoccer.com. I don't know what Charles does not write about. I think it's all the things. Charles, thanks for joining us on a busy night with the U.S. men's national team.
You're far too kind. You're far too kind.
I can't keep up with your posts.
Yeah, literally just fresh off of the post-game press conference after U.S. M&T versus Jamaica.
Well, let's start there since that's fresh on your mind. I know as I was coming into the studio, I got the update. I gave a call home and I knew that U.S. was down pretty early, very, very quick, kind of like Jamaica was like, let's just go for it, and scored a goal off the bat, but ended up winning, I think, 3-1, correct?
Yes. Yeah. And one of the earliest goals, I don't know where it ranks exactly, but one of the earliest goals the U.S. has ever conceded. I think it was about 31 seconds after the kickoff.
Ooh.
They got caught napping, a couple of defensive breakdowns. I think that you have to say the two fullbacks on either side were most culpable in allowing a deep cross and then not defending at the back post. And then, as Greg Berhalter said after the match, they're playing a Jamaica team parking the bus in a 5-4-1 formation. And that's in his words, the worst thing you can do against that formation is give up an early goal. So it was very much the game state set for the next 90 plus minutes to bang on the door and try and open up the spaces. And it was really quite a poor first half. And then they rallied and get an own goal off a corner kick I believe it was the 95th minute of extra time. So their luck was just about run out. And then from there, everything flipped and Haji Wright scores a brace in the extra time period. And they're comfortable winners in the end, but it was most definitely not a comfortable night for the U.S. M&T.
I'm really glad you mentioned Haji Wright because coming off his time with Coventry and scoring a crucial goal with them only to come in to this U.S. side and do what he did with the U.S. men's national team off a great feed from Gio Reyna, I'll add. I mean, you think about, I loved your tweet more so than anything, so maybe I let you describe it, but my goodness, what a statement that Haji Wright made tonight.
Yes, I mean, and it's incredible. We have to start with the old line from the movie Clerks. He's not even supposed to be here. He was not on the initial roster. He was left out despite being in great form in the English Championship with Coventry City. As you said, he just scored a dramatic winner in the FA Cup upset that they pulled off, but doesn't make the cut. Only gets a call after a couple of injuries, opened up slots. So Berhalter actually told an amazing story. Haji Wright, he calls Haji Wright to tell him, we want to add you to the roster late. Haji says, well, I'm at the airport and my whole family's here and my girlfriend set up a trip for us to all go to Dubai on the international break. And I was just about to get on the plane. And Greg said, well, let me give you a few minutes to think about it and call me back in 10 minutes. So Haji Wright collects his thoughts, composes himself, and I gather tells his family that he is in fact not going to go on their beach vacation to Dubai. He's going to fly over to the States and play in the Nations League, and turns out to be the hero, man of the match. I believe it's the first substitute in USM M&T history to score a brace off the bench in a knockout match, which is just incredible.
I would love to know how that went down with his family. I'm sure they were so supportive, but hey, I'm actually going to go the opposite direction and a couple hours back west over to the United States. But clearly it was worth it. And I feel like we have this, it's kind of a double-edged sword for us in St. Louis because, of course, we want to see Josh Sargent out there. We want to see him get minutes. But Haji Wright, what a weapon he can be, not only centrally, but also out wide. He just offers something that right now you'd expect from Flo Balogun, but you're getting that productivity with the U.S. men's national team. It seems like we're getting a new player every single year that can improve this team.
Yeah, the depth is great. And Berhalter described this as one of the hardest rosters he's had to pick in his 5+ years in charge. And, you have to remind yourself back in the 2022 cycle of the large part of that qualifying process was collective fretting over the lack of options at the number 9 slot. The system is built around the attack in many ways, hinges on having a number 9 that can do a lot of different things, but above all can finish chances, right? And there just didn't seem to be anyone that you could reliably depend on who was playing regularly at a high level for their clubs that could come in and do the job for the national team. And now he's got somewhere in the neighborhood of half a dozen, capable in-form options in multiple different countries. And so there's very good players that are getting left off. And that is a little bit of the context for Haji Wright not getting that initial call up, but it's a great place for the team to be. Now there are some soft spots elsewhere in the depth chart right now, but tonight was really a great example of that there's plenty of guys ready to step up when given the opportunity.
Yeah, you've certainly got to be careful what you wish for in some scenarios, but I'm sure he'll still be wishing for more depth elsewhere. I'm curious, you mentioned that 5-4-1. Low blocks is something a lot of St. Louis City SC fans are quite familiar with. They love to earn possession in the attacking half, or rather in the attacking third. And when that's not happening and you're playing a low block, it can be really, really frustrating. I think U.S. men's national team fans got a dose of that. City fans have been getting a dose of that since late last season. How do you break that down? Or at least how do you plan for something like that, especially after you give up that early goal?
Well, there's more than one answer, but the short version is, you either open up space and carve open defenses with collective movements and patterns of play, or you have special players that can produce moments of skill and quality and daring in the final third and around the box, or a combination of those two things, right? And I think that's why we've all been talking about Gio Reyna constantly going back to 2022 and before, and I think that will continue for the next few days because he comes off the bench in this game and serves up the really delicious deliveries for Wright on both of his goals. And Berhalter noted, he said, I did not hear someone saying that, questioning whether Reyna should have been called up because he's played something like 40 minutes at club level in the last several months.
He's been left off rosters for game day rosters. It's wild.
Exactly. He's not in form, or what he just hasn't played enough to even be in form or tell us whether he is or not at the club level. But he can still show up and be the best player on the field for the USMNT in a big game like this. So he's the question now is how fit is he? Can he play 70 odd minutes tonight and then be ready to start or play a significant role in the final on Sunday? And Berhalter said we certainly hope so. It sounds like he'll be on the pitch by any means possible.
Well, another game here locally for St. Louis is DC United. I know that you've covered them as well, Charles, being out that way. Coming to St. Louis should be a game, as coach says, full of energy with Jared Stroud coming back, Lucas Bartlett, Chris Durkin, former team. Wanted to ask you if you can speak about it. Is the strike going on, of course, in the lockout with the referees? We had in usually our last segment of the first hour, we have on George Gansner, former FIFA and MLS referee. He went through the 2014 strike. He's very open in saying, like, I'm always on the side of the referees. But one of the things that was brought up by not only him, but our analyst was the concerns about player safety, about points, with having a game maybe that will be as energetic physically and mentally as maybe this game might be, and maybe collective frustrations that are building across the league.
I think there is some of that. I mean, you're hearing players and coaches get more outspoken this past weekend with their frustrations about the refereeing, even though there's typically a hefty fine involved in that and doing anything that could be construed as criticism. And for sure, tempers on both sides are very short. This has been a very contentious negotiation. I think there's different perspectives on where the middle ground is, right? You would hope that they would be back at the negotiations table, although it's not at all clear that that's happening or imminent at the moment. Those two sides seem to still be far apart. But the simple mathematics here is that there's a finite pool of officials in the United States and Canada that are available for any of these pro leagues to call upon. And so when you peel off, and in this case it's a lockout, and it would be the same circumstances if it was a strike. When you peel off the top layer or multiple layers of the available officiating pool, you're dealing with a different scenario. You're putting more pressure on a different segment of your depth chart, to use the phrase that we were talking about earlier. And I think you see that it's asking a lot. It's a lot of weight on everybody's shoulders. And I know the league feels very strongly. I think the executives feel that they've given a fair offer and that it's not been handled respectfully by the officials. But I don't know at what point one of the two sides or both the sides realize that right now it's a lose-lose for everybody. I mean, this is not an ideal situation for any of the parties involved, whether they're prepared to admit that on the record or not. So we shall see. I will say in regards to the DC St. Louis match, I think St. Louis fans may see a lot of themselves in this DC United team. Troy Lesane is uses a lot of pressing and focuses on transition moments in the system that he's setting up with DC United. But this is not necessarily an all systems go, maximum overdrive type of Red Bulls system. They want to be precise. They want to be creative and progressive with the ball when they do create those turnovers and transitions. So I'm really intrigued to see what that kind of those two different interpretations of similar philosophies are going to look like.
One final question for you, Charles, before we got to let you go. And I didn't prep you for this ahead of time. Apologies if it catches you off guard, but I would be remiss if I didn't mention the NWSL. For St. Louis, we've had a St. Louis 85er being honored at KC Current with a great opening of their stadium. Alex Pfeiffer is from St. Louis. All that joy and kind of the opening last weekend. And now we find out today, and it's been an ongoing issue with, fraternization violations. The league's been dealing with it. Today, a goalkeeper coach from Houston Dash let go. And you had reposted Meg Linehan from The Athletic kind of reporting on that, and just wanted to see if you had any thoughts or, updates maybe on something like that that we obviously need to keep talking about.
Well, for sure, the NWSL is at a really fascinating point right now where it's poised to potentially make a big leap. We're in the opening months of a really significant, I would say, landmark new broadcast deal with multiple different partners. You're seeing the investment that comes with that. That floods more money into the league. It shines a brighter spotlight. It opens up different opportunities and conversations. And I think we're going to be hearing a lot more in the coming months about expansion markets. I would not be the least bit surprised if we hear some chatter about St. Louis in that regard. I certainly hope that Carolyn Kindle and the rest of the ownership group have that in mind, because it would be super fun to see an NWSL team running around at City Park. But it's in many ways it's sort of like a honeymoon period. But then as you take that next step up as a league in that next sort of era of maturity, you do get into big league problems, right? And the bigger challenges, and they still have to show that they can handle the off the field matters, that there's player protections are in place in terms of conduct and all these other things that have been such a hot button for some time now. You mentioned Mana Shim, who was at the center of the probably I'd say the most searing allegations or a abuse scandal involving Paul Riley and the Portland Thorns.
Yeah.
She testified in front of a congressional subcommittee today here in D.C. To try and advocate for safe sport reform. So there is a governing body oriented or national level process by which players are supposed to be protected from abuse by coaches and other people in power, and it doesn't work the way that it should right now, and that system has to evolve, and she gave her powerful perspective on that. So I think we'll definitely be looking at that a lot, and once something has Congress's attention, I think you'll see movement in some sense or another.
Thanks, Charles. We appreciate you. Hope we can tag you in for another show sometime in the near future.
Always a pleasure.
Thanks. That was Charles Boehm, writer for MLSsoccer.com. You can follow him on Twitter, X, whatever it's called now, at cboehm, Boehm. You can find him there. He's got great stuff and reposts great stuff. And if you ever need like an all source, go there. Go to Charles.
He's got you covered.
He's got it. Well, we've got another great source coming up, and he's itching to get on here, and I'm itching to get him on. Ty Keogh comes next on the Soccer Report on KMOX.
Broadcasting from the Underlaw Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studios.
KMOX. Hey guys, Glover here for my friends at ThrottleNet. So I'm so very proud to have represented the guys at ThrottleNet for all of these years. They are the IT geniuses. George and Mike are the owners. Fantastic guys. They can do all of your IT. They can do a portion of your IT. They have the best Apple support team. Their response time is under 2 minutes. Think about that, under 2 minutes. Something goes sideways with your IT, and they are solving your problem and they're solving your problem within 2 minutes. Now, let's talk about cybersecurity. Most companies in St. Louis don't have cyber liability insurance. You get hit, you're on the hook, you're probably out of business. With ThrottleNet, if we represent you, we protect you. The first $500,000 that someone hits you for, which isn't going to happen, but if it does, we pay it. $500,000. That's what you're covered for with ThrottleNet. Go to throttlenet.com/DGS for all the information.
What better way to support your nutrition than with the multivitamin that was created right here in St. Louis? Neovitin Original Multivitamin was created by St. Louis physician Dr. Ribicki to support his own nutrition when he needed it most. Now, Neovitin Original Multivitamin is formulated with sensible doses of vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and Dr. Ribicki's proprietary blend to give you nutritional support you won't find anywhere else. Neovitin is now conveniently available through our no-obligation monthly subscription. Cancel or pause at any time, and shipping is free. Support your nutrition with a subscription to Neovitin at neovitin.com today.
Paid for by Coalition Life.
Stop. Wait. Think twice about signing that petition. That innocent petition is not a replacement for Roe versus Wade. We're talking late term and partial birth, long after the baby can feel pain. But that's not all. Signing that petition obliterates parental rights. Worse, it strips away malpractice protections for prenatal care, childbirth, miscarriage care, and all other reproductive health care. So if you or a loved one is hurt while accessing reproductive care, you forfeit your rights to sue. So think twice about signing that petition and instead join us on Saturday, March 23rd, just outside Union Station for March on the Arch, hosted by Coalition Life. March 23rd is a day to stand up for the precious babies and their brave mothers in a powerful morning filled with prayer, love, and inspiration. Register today at stlmarch.com, because every life deserves a chance.
You're all set with your new Navien water heater.
I can't wait to take a shower without running out of hot water. I'm just going to love my Navien tankless water heater. I just want to say
Oh, no need to say that, ma'am. You'll always love Navien's high efficiency that will save you money on gas bills compared to other water heaters.
I love how I have more space with its wall-hanging design. Please let me say
Nope, sorry, miss. I know you appreciate it, but I can't let you say it.
Why not?
Because with Navien, it's a tankless job.
How long you been waiting to use that?
You'd be surprised.
Find a Navien installer near you at tanklessmadesimple.com.
You know the Midwest Money slogan, isn't cash in the bank better than scrap in the drawer? This is Johnny Rabbit to tell you that's for sure. That's Midwest Money, the oldest coin shop in St. Louis. Buying, selling, and trading since 1971. Silver and gold, coins, sterling silver, antique firearms, military relics, uniforms, flags, medals, daggers, and more. Not sure what you have? Bring it to Midwest Money at 5900 Hampton in South St. Louis to find out. Plus, Midwest Money is home of the largest model train layout in St. Louis. And the first Sunday of every month, bring your family to see this great model railroad exhibit, and it's free. My advice to you is to bring your collectibles to someone you can trust. Midwest Money at the corner of Hampton and Holly Hills. So come on in. They'd like to meet you at Midwest Money. You'll be happy you did.
The Y98 St. Louis City Soccer Report continues on America's Sports Voice, KMOX.
Welcome back into the downtown studios, dark studios of KMOX St. Louis, here for what will be our last segment with a guest. So let's get right to it. Ty Keogh now joins us. Ty, we just got off the phone with Daniel Esteve is alongside, by the way. Just got off the phone with Charles Boehm, who had just gotten out of kind of the presser for the U.S. men's national team. Probably not a bad thing to start there, since I know you were watching the game.
Yeah, I was with a handful of diehards down at the Amsterdam.
There you go.
The Amsterdam Tavern. I've been there once, sir, 52
was
times.
Really nice until overtime. During the overtime. No, well, we got the result, but it was a little painful, especially during regulation time, and a little bit miraculous to even push it into overtime. But, no, I mean, we got the usual matchup probably shaping up for USA against Mexico in the final on Sunday. I think it's an 8:15 kickoff. So looking forward to that. But, of course, Mexico has to get the job done against Panama, who is a dangerous team. So.
If Mexico gets it done, call it now, 2-0. I heard it enough growing up on the border, Ty. I know you know what I'm talking about. I mean,
you better. You think about Clint Mathis and Josh Wolf all the way back then.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's funny you talk about how it was a bit stressful till extra time for the U.S. men's national team game. But again, we've talked about it on this show already. When you think about breaking down a low block, especially with a 1-0 deficit, St. Louis City's fallen victim to a low block plenty of times in its short history. Just how difficult is that, especially from your perspective, having played the game for so long?
Well, it's a definition of frustration. That's the opponent's entire idea is to pack the box, block shots, not leave any spaces for penetrating runs or for combination plays. So you end up having to rely just on balls in from the flanks or set pieces, corner kicks, free kicks, and so forth. So it just comes down to, do you get a break? And it ended up being a break for the U.S. men's national team tonight, in that the own goal, pushed it into overtime.
And the U.S. still unbeaten on home soil in 30-plus games when it comes to elimination. I mean, the result obviously speaks for itself, but now it sets up a whole nother storyline. You say we're expecting to play Mexico. That matchup is about as appealing as it gets when it comes to CONCACAF.
Well, CONCACAF is relying on that. That's the big ticket, isn't it? When you see USA against Mexico, it's a tremendous rivalry going back decades. Not only that, I think it's in terms of just the pride of these two nations when they face each other on the playing field. You think of the heroics of Landon Donovan when the U.S. finally started to turn the tables on Mexico. Mexico dominated the rivalry for quite a long time. And we have a lot more pride now. We've won Gold Cups and we've defeated Mexico in many finals. But as far as the promoters, U.S. Soccer Federation and the Mexican Soccer Federation and FIFA, they love to see these rivalries, and it drives ticket sales, it drives passion, it drives all the media attention that they're looking for.
Well, speaking of rivalries and media attention, I feel like it almost feels like one when we talk about Open Cup and Leagues Cup. It's one of those things where City has been very clear and, in front of the camera and also behind the camera where many of us media sit, that they wanted to play. Not happy that those decisions on the Open Cups were made. And there's so many things you could talk about with it, from not being in the Open Cup and how you feel about that, tie, as a former U.S. men's national team player and a player in the league, as well as the Leagues Cup and kind of the back and forth between these two and potentially boycotting in a way to send a message. But does that or does that not really happen? Wherever you want to approach this from, that's the topic I want to talk about.
Right. I mean, it's kind of touchy in a few different ways politically, but bottom line, St. Louis City's made it very clear it was not their decision. It was the league's decision. They are a part of the league. And yeah, of course, they have some influence on what the league does, but generally speaking, they can say, hey, they enjoyed their ability to be able to compete in a U.S. Open competition. And for me personally, I've played in the U.S. Open Cup. My dad played and won the U.S. Open Cup back in the day with the Cuda Soccer Club. The team I played on, Big Four Chevrolet, we lost to the
icons.
Yeah, well, we won the Missouri Open and Amateur Cups when I was a 19-year-old in 1976, and in the U.S. Open Cup, we've faced the San Francisco Athletic Club, who were the eventual champions. We lost to them in overtime. They ended up winning the final on penalty kicks in 1976.
You guys were robbed,
So, yeah,
Ty. You guys were robbed. I remember that game like it was yesterday.
But I have a question for both of you, really. Yeah. When Ty, you say those names, right? And they're not MLS team names. They're that's kind of the beauty about Open Cup, is anybody can go in and win. So then for maybe some people, why is it a big deal if maybe the MLS, first teams aren't playing?
Well, you touched on it. It's the magic of dreaming that you can compete, even if you're just a local team or have sponsorship from somebody like Big Four Chevrolet, right? And to be able to win a national championship and take on and become a giant killer. That's what they call it back in England, a giant killer, if you're able to knock out a team and it's a knockout competition. So you knock out teams that are above you in the hierarchy. And it really appeals, I think, to the grassroots, people that grew up in the game and maybe are from smaller clubs. And the United States is a really big country, and there's a lot of soccer now all over in different parts of the country where there didn't used to be soccer. And you want to embrace these smaller clubs and these smaller towns that now have a true passion for the sport, and to compete and enter a competition where you would have the chance to play an MLS team if you advanced a bit. That's what people dream of. That's what sports is about. I mean, the ability to think, hey, we could get there. If the breaks go our way and we care enough, and our people and our community pull together, we can really make something happen here. So it's all the great sports movies. That's what they're about. Can you dream? Can you achieve? Can you pull together? And in a competition like the U.S. Open Cup, it's open. Any team can join if they pay the fee, and it's a knockout competition, so upsets can happen. And you see that, I think, right now, Coventry City just beat the Wolves in the English knockout competition, and that's where Haji Wright plays, right?
Yeah,
and he scored 2 goals tonight for the U.S.
And he was the one who sent them into that semifinal with his goal for Coventry. I mean, you couldn't have scripted it any better for him this week.
No, it's perfect. I mean, he's proving our point in terms of Coventry City being a lower echelon team in England, but knocking out a Premier League club. And now he scores 2 goals here, for the U.S. men's national team, critical goals to get them into the final against Mexico on Sunday. So it's a competition that, to me, I think Major League Soccer is short-sighted in not embracing this because of the history of the competition, because it does embrace communities and different parts of the country and smaller clubs and smaller towns to dream, to be a part of the big picture. And I think Major League Soccer misses out. And I think they also, I take it a little bit personally, not because I played in the competition or my dad played on a team from St. Louis that won a U.S. Open Cup, but because it's also called the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup. And I had the privilege and pleasure of meeting a couple times Lamar Hunt Jr. And he was a true pioneer in terms of building soccer in the United States. He had the Dallas Tornado in the North American Soccer League. He owned that franchise. And then in the early years of Major League Soccer, he really put his heart, soul, and checkbook into development of soccer. And they named the trophy, the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup, in his honor. And he dreamed of a day when there would be a Major League Soccer, there would be a league that was growing constantly, including now a team in St. Louis. And he dreamed. The last conversation I had with him, he dreamed about having rivalries for the teams that he owned. He owned the Kansas City original Major League Soccer team. He owned the Dallas team. He owned the Columbus team at one point. And he said, we need rivalries. And he was just absolutely dreaming of the day that St. Louis would have a team so that his teams in Kansas City, in Columbus, and Dallas would have that rivalry with a St. Louis team. Because St. Louis has rivalries in other sports, right, with some of those cities. And he wanted to have a Major League Soccer. He didn't live to see it, but he wanted to have a Major League Soccer team in St. Louis. And he put his, like I said, he put his heart and soul into soccer, and they put his name on that trophy, the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup trophy. And I think they should recognize his contributions and recognize the growth of the sport throughout the country and different regions of the country by encompassing and incorporating all those people that love the game into this one big tournament that anyone can enter.
Yeah, absolutely, Ty. And it seems to me, and we're running a bit short on time, but it seems to me that the MLS almost has a responsibility to be a part of it, to raise those lower teams and those lower aspirations of people wanting to play soccer and compete against some of the best competition. That responsibility needs to be had because it ups the level of the entire competition. I always go back to my good friend Ron Patel. He's now the president of New Mexico United. What that Open Cup did for New Mexico United in their first year of existence, they made it all the way to the Final 8. They played in Minnesota. They played wonderfully. They had traveling fans. That jump-started that whole team. When Ron Patel spent time with the Rio Grande Valley Toros, which unfortunately have recently folded, when he became president of the RGV Toros, his first level of business was cutting the relationship with the Houston Dynamo so that RGV could participate in the U.S. Open Cup because he saw the value in it. And I just feel like with the MLS, they have that responsibility to up the status of that league and to promote it with all the resources they have.
Oh, just think about it. It's just great marketing to be able to embrace all of these smaller clubs and make it so that they have the opportunity to compete and their fans can get excited about it, and you can spread the love of the game and the passion about soccer into new parts of the country where they have some of these smaller clubs who might pull off an upset or two, because the sport is growing immensely and the players are getting better all over the country as well. And to give them a chance to go out and prove themselves and maybe knock off a team from a higher level and let everybody dream and get that community excited and get more passion for the sport of soccer. To me, it's kind of a no-brainer to participate.
Thanks, Ty. We appreciate you. Hope to have you on a future show.
All right, Jen. Good talk with you. Take care, Daniel.
See you, Ty.
That's Ty Keogh, U.S. men's national team former player and our beloved broadcaster here in St. Louis. We'll be back on the Soccer Report on KMOX.
Hey, Tom Ackerman here. I've been telling you about the Bath Authority, walk-in tubs, replacement showers, tub-to-shower conversions, and more. Every unit custom built by certified factory technicians and are 100% made in the USA. Call them today at 314-347-0410 and get $1,000 off a new shower or bath. That's 314-347-0410 plus 36 months of interest-free financing from the Bath Authority. TheBathAuthority.com.
The final days of the construction sales event are going on now at Audi Exchange Kirkwood. Stop in today and choose from hundreds of new Audis. And right now, take up to 10% off MSRP and get special low-rate financing on our great selection of new Audis. Coming soon in April, we're excited to introduce the all-new Audi Exchange Kirkwood, complete with over 35,000 square feet of nothing but Audi and a new attitude. Visit AudiKirkwood.com.
KMOX's Kegs and Eggs, presented by Budweiser, returns to 7th Street in downtown St. Louis before the home opener Thursday, April 4th. Tickets on sale now and include drinks from the Budweiser family of products, food from Sugar Fire, specialty drinks from the likes of Maker's Mark and Hornitos. Celebrate the home opener with Gateway Metro Federal Credit Union, Dirt Cheap and Aloha Pools USA, KMOX's official pool contractor with red-hot deals this baseball season at AlohaPoolsUSA.com. Tickets at KMOX.com/events.
Hey, it's Bo Matthews for Beast Plumbing, your new plumber. Whether it's plumbing, water heaters, clogged drains, or water treatment like water filtration and water softeners, call on the best. That's Beast Plumbing, 314-500-LEAK. That's 314-500-LEAK.
After a long winter, your lawn is going to be starving this spring. It's hungry, so it's time to feed it with Scott's 4-Step program, available at Cotton's Ace Hardware. The 4-Step includes weed prevention, and each season, the right amount of food to keep your lawn happy, healthy, and green, and the envy of the neighborhood. You can either get the 5,000 square foot package or the 15,000 square foot package and get a $20 gift card to Cotton's Ace Hardware. Do not neglect your lawn. Get started on the 4-Step today at Cotton's Ace Hardware.
I lock up my Old Spice Fiji aluminum-free dry spray to keep that 24/7 lasting freshness safe for myself. Fresh coconuts, palm trees in the wind. It's like catching waves in Fiji. Actually, I just talked myself into a refreshing spritz of Fiji. My Old Spice is missing! No!
Planning for spring at Lowe's means big savings on outdoor power equipment, and Lowe's knows nothing feels better than free. Buy one select Ego string trimmer, leaf blower, or mower kit. Get one select 56-volt battery free. That's up to a $299 value. Power through spring with Ego, the #1 rated brand in cordless outdoor power. Because Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 4/3 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Hey guys, Glover here for my friends at Zero Res. So March is probably one of our biggest months, which is not a surprise, right? Spring cleaning, and here we've had spring a little bit early, and people are ready to get rid of all the dust and the dander and have a nice clean summer, fall, next winter, next spring, right? So all you have to do is call 314-474-2020 or ZeroResSTL.com. My friends at Zero Res will take great care of you. Here's the DGS deal of the month. 3 rooms of carpet clean starting starting at just $119. That's a $50 savings, $50 off your air duct cleaning, and this month alone, 20% off all upholstery. So you have some furniture that you'd like to have cleaned. You can also do tile, any type of flooring we can help you out with. For all of my corporate listeners out there, doctors and dentists and apartments and churches and schools and hospitals, will make you an equally good DGS deal. 314-474-2020 or go online at zeroresstl.com.
The Y98 St. Louis City Soccer Report continues on America's Sports Voice, KMOX.
Wrapping things up here at KMOX on the St. Louis City Soccer Report. 2 hours gone by fast. Daniel, I had you for an hour and 30 minutes. Was it as fast for you?
Yes, it wasn't long enough. Come on now. I mean, honestly, it's just such a good time. In any case, whether there's a mic in front of me or whether I just get the chance to talk to you pitch side at City, Jen. It was such a treat, seriously.
What did you like about tonight? I mean, Taiki, of course, just great. And he just texted both of us that he and, if I say the name right, JP, is it Delacamera? Am I saying that correctly? They broadcast a couple of U.S. Open Cup finals back in the 90s. There is a lot of nostalgia with that for anybody in the game, Ty played in it, or not everybody played in it, but you've probably, if you've been a soccer family, you know about the Open Cup, and it's just a legacy.
Yeah, absolutely. And I like how Ty, it's still a very touchy subject and you need to tiptoe around it. But when you think about people go, and I obviously have a podcast named Wembley's Game, the home of football, right? But there's, ask Dave Lang, right? You've got over 100 years of soccer history in the United States, and the Open Cup is very much a part of that. So it's a shame, but I will say, as far as St. Louis fans and City themselves, they've handled it very well. City fans are always going to support City regardless. And I'm at least judging from some of the social media talk, I think when it comes to any kind of boycott, they're going to do it tastefully as well, just like Ty. And we've had this conversation.
Well, one thing before we do go is that I saw this on Twitter, X again today, just out official after more than 70 years with Adidas, or as we say here in America, Adidas. Germany will swap sponsors. I thought my husband was going to fall to his chair and die. Nike is going to outfit the German national team starting 2027 to 2034. I know that there's a lot of cool equipment out right now, and Nike's really cutting edge when it comes to colors and things. My kids like their stuff, but I grew up with the Adidas Copas, and that's the only shoe I wear.
Well, hey, they call it Nike over there. So
they're
going Nike. Honestly, the first thing that came to mind for me is Barcelona dropped their sponsorship with Nike in favor of their own manufacturing brand, which is crazy to take on as a football club and hasn't worked in history. But Nike probably thought, well, man, we lost Barcelona. We've got to find another iconic team. And what more iconic team than the German national team? Okay,
I'll put you on the spot real quick for like 30 seconds.
Ooh.
Saturday game, DC United. Jared Stroud gets a card?
Yes. And Jared Stroud just...
and I love Jared, as you know.
The pitch, he's
one of my
blitzing
favorites.
down the wing to exhaustion. He may run into a couple players,
who's he going to take on over
around.
There on the right? Oh, could be him and Thomas Totland if he's on the left. I don't know. He can do both.
Yeah, he moved around quite a bit. I mean, great guy, always fun to talk to. Chris Durkin, though, has been such an asset.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm sure he'll have some fun playing against his club that he signed with when he was 16. So it'll be a lot of fun for a lot of reasons.
And you know what? We've been gone from City. The team's been gone for a couple of weeks. So the fans and you and me and everybody is going to be raring to go. Daniel, thank you so much for your time. I've enjoyed it. I hope you've had fun.
Looking forward to next time.
Awesome. Well, this is the St. Louis City Soccer Report on KMOX. If you didn't catch it all or you want to listen to it later, you can. You can always find us to listen live. Maybe if you're at a kid's soccer practice on the Odyssey app or here at KMOX, and you can find the download from the Odyssey app for free. Thanks to Matt Podjeski. This has been the Soccer Report on KMOX.
Join the St. Louis Work Zone Awareness 5K and 1 Mile Fun Run Saturday, April 20th.